What we're going to talk about right now is how to get rid of being stuck, how to get rid of that position that you're in that you can't move out of, or you're feeling like you're overwhelmed. We want to go over a few of those steps to maybe enlighten you, if everyone's okay with that. So before we begin, we have to first understand what causes it. Now, a lot of people have a lot of emotions. A lot of people have a lot of doubt. A lot of people have a lot of fear. All these different things are a byproduct of being unsure of yourself. So that's why they say the greatest obstacle you have is yourself. So the number one thing we have to understand is when we're first born, we're this little tiny person. Now when we're born as a first tiny person, we're free, we're open, we're clean. When your parents or you first held your baby, what happened? The number one thing, you held that baby, you brought all that joy, right? When you look at that baby, you think it's cute, you call it cute. It's the joy, and you just use the word cute. So what we have to understand is in that state of joy and that energy, it's so pure, it becomes like this. That's the purity, okay? This is our energy. This is energy. We're always going in form, we're living through it, and then going out of it. So we must ensure that while we're in it, going through it, we respect it for what it's worth. We must respect the sanctity of this gift. So what we understand now is if this is our life, and we understand that this is the pure state, we're just born, we're pure, we're clean, we're empty. As soon as you start progressing a few years, what happens? You start gaining what's known as attachments. These attachments are very, very dangerous at a young age, especially when you're not guided on what's good and what's not. So for instance, when a baby's first born, what are they attached to? Their parents. So we'll put a few things there, attachments. After they're attached to their parents, what do they want? They only want comfort, they want to be safe. So they put more attachments because that's survival. They want to protect to make sure that they keep surviving instinctively. Now that they have that, they grow up a little more, what happens? Then they become attaching to different things of what they like, right? Certain foods all of a sudden they don't eat when you start introducing some foods. Certain foods they don't like. Certain things I want, this is mine. Becomes more attachments, more attachments, more attachments, more attachments. And then soon what happens? We become so full of attachments without realizing it, and then all of a sudden it becomes baggage at such a young age. You start going to junior kindergarten and whatnot, and what's the number one thing that kids pick fights for? That's mine. That's not yours. This is mine. I want that. This is mine. I'm going to take it. Why? Where did they learn that from? They learned it from when they were growing up, because what's in their environment when they see their parents taken, because maybe their parents heard of desires. Let's have a desire. They say, let's go after that desire. Let's go and take it. It doesn't work that way, because whenever we have a desire, it must always be selfless. It cannot be selfish for something material. And so what we must learn is we have to live a life so pure that we get rid of all these things known as demerits. Now, a lot of people live a life full of demerits. They live a life full of attachments. They can't let go of drinking, can't let go of smoking, can't let go of gambling. All of those things become the attachments that cause more and more of the demerits. The demerits is what is basically your personal accountant of your soul. See, our soul has a personal accountant of merit and demerit. So for the left brain people, they can understand. Now for merit and demerit, this is our currency for our soul. If we live a life only full of demerit, 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 all of these dots, what assets do you have? What assets do you have to play with? What assets do you have to bargain with? Not much. Because if we live in this world and this is known as debt, what happens to the world when it's debt-ridden? Becomes shackled, becomes jailed, becomes imprisoned. So we must learn to get rid of that. We have to get rid of each and every one of these demerits by making sure we don't completely get lost. So what does that mean? We need to ensure that if we do not understand what it is to let go of all these things known as demerits, what's going to happen? They're just going to keep piling up, piling up, piling up, piling up, piling up. And then what happens? The mind and the body become separated. When the mind and the body become separated, what happens? Illness in the mind, illness in the body. Starts to fail, starts to decrease, starts to diminish. Because we have so much of these demerits. See, the secret for people who are stuck on this planet, who are stuck in their life, who are stuck where they are, who feel like they're enclosed, there's nowhere else to go. It's because they don't understand how this works. And so they fill themselves with all the nonsense, all the demerits. And what happens? There's no clarity. How could there ever be clarity when there's all the fog in here? How could you ever be truly healthy when there's all the fog in here? And so here's what happens when we grow up now. We grow up and let's say we want to build, okay? Now this is us, we want to build. What happens when we build? We must always make sure the first thing we build is always the foundation. Everyone knows that. But what comes before the foundation? It's called a blueprint. Now, a lot of people understand that who are left brain, who are engineers, builders, anything of that nature. They understand the blueprint because nothing gets done without that. You can never build a house without the blueprint. You cannot build a rocket ship without the blueprint, right? So for us, why do we live life without one? Because when you went to school, they taught you what to think, but they never taught you how to think so that you can eliminate those stuff so that it does not exist. So what we must learn to do is we have to learn to get rid of the demerits and only achieve merits. But we live in a society that's all full of lies. Right? And then we live all of this lie after lie. Post stuff on Facebook, Instagram, all this stuff. Look what I want to show you, that to make you believe that I have, make you believe that I can do this, make you believe I was there, make you believe this, make you believe that. All full of lies. And what is this called? Your ego, the falseness of yourself, of your own entity, so that you feel that you are the king of your castle. And if you built this all on lies, what happens when the truth comes out? This comes crashing down. And when this comes crashing down, what happens to this? Oh, demerits. All even pile up even more because then the emotions kicked in. Then mental health was a problem. Then physical health, you don't take care of that. Then what happened to the soul? It was never fed, right? So if you really want to know how to really get that real soul food, the pure soul food, we must ensure that each and every day there are no demerits on our ledger. Each and every day, everything we do is always for a merit, right? Right? Tertiary given, random act of kindness, right? Compassion, right? Making sure that others are valued, making sure that we always bring value to everyone and everywhere. Add value with all the merits every single time, and then this currency for the soul will pile up. And then if each and every day we can ensure that there are no demerits every single day, and then when we add the merits every single day, let's call that meditation, let's call that exercise, let's call that making sure that we grow every single time. All the merits pile up. Then when this is no longer in existence, this energy moves to a next form, into the next dimension, into the next world. What happens? Then we will always be on this side, brand new again. Start again, and maybe in a different form. But what we must understand is, if we don't take care of this now, if this is us now, and if this relates to you, if something hit home with this, all the baggage, all the unclarity, all the feeling stuck, well, where was the space for you to grow? Where did you allow space to grow? You see, the secret is we have to get rid of these lies and only live the truth, so that when we live the truth, what's going to happen? Let's say this is A, and A wants to help B. So then all of a sudden B starts implementing the same thing. Then B gets strong and strong and strong, so that B will help C. And then C took a little time, but when C really got it, what happened? Then all of a sudden C got more, got D. And what's going to happen? It just compounds and expands. Why? Because once this person planted their seed, what happened? When you became the beacon of light and the guardian of your light, you protected your seed. When you protected that seed, you help all these people plant their seeds. And when everyone has the same belief in this seed, that belief grows. Because like Gandhi said, if this is the belief, beliefs become thoughts. So then as your beliefs become stronger, the better you're able to control the thoughts that come in and go out. So the thoughts then became words. So then what you speak with your sound became better. As you became better with your sound and your speech, what happened? Right? If beliefs become thoughts, then thoughts become words, then those words become better actions. When those words become better actions, what happened? Then we no longer make the same mistakes anymore. We only make more merits. What happens when those actions become better? They become better habits. When those habits become better, they become virtue. When the virtue becomes better, it becomes your destiny so that you can go and achieve the highest form of consciousness known as nirvana. And that is where we help everyone build this side based all on the truth and not on the lie. Because when it's all built on truth with the foundation of the beliefs become thoughts, thoughts become words, words become actions, actions become habits, habits become virtue, virtue becomes destiny. The more people that can align with you and your destiny, the stronger the cause, the stronger the selflessness, the easier it is for us to have what's known as world peace. Because it took all of us to have that accountability first with this, so that we can have a responsibility to this. Now, how many people live like this? How many people live accountable for this so that they can become responsible in their service to humanity? Not many. So what must we all do? We must all ensure that each and every day when we wake up, what's the first thing we do? Meditate, exercise, something healthy, something clean. Start the day off right. Then each and every day, ensure that once you have that frame of mind, then you only stay on this side of the ledger every single moment of every single day. Then you do not add to the baggage that causes you the unclarity. Can't find my purpose. Why? Because your mind is separated from the body. Your mind is separated from the body with all the garbage, all the baggage. Then how could you ever access the pure power of the soul? So if we have here the mind, we have here the body, right here the soul. See, when you were first born, no one ever taught you that we were all here. When you're first born. And then you develop this, the body, then you develop this, the mind. Now the problem, as soon as you develop the body and the mind, you think you start knowing it all. And so you base everything on these lies. You want everyone to believe that you know it all, right? You talk sweet, no action. So the secret is we have to stop just living the lies with our mind and body and learn to keep going back to the foundation to ensure that once the mind is of pure nature, once the body is of pure nature, then you can really achieve that pure nature in the soul called soul food. Remember, everyone that lives in this world is focused on eye candy, but no one is really feeding your soul with soul food. So you want to be the person that has soul food and forgets about the eye candy because you know it doesn't last, it's only finite. You're focused more on the infinite because it's the infinite that we came from, is infinite we go to. If you're only focused on this level of existence, what's going to happen? You're never going to really realize your full potential, because how are you going to realize something when you based it all on ego? Because you were always selfish to take, when you understood that everything in life is received, never taken. The greatest things in life are always well received. But the problem with this world, everyone tries to go to motivational speakers, go all around the world, seek this person out to get motivated, spend a fortune on this motivation, just so they could feed this, the lie. Why? Because it's the lie that you buy into, because it's the lie you live into. That's what they sold you on. We're not in that. We're not in the so-called self-help. We're in the community help to show you that if we all learn to live through our soul, then the body lives on a different level of existence, so that the mind can live at the highest level of existence with the body, and then the soul itself comes to the surface, and that's how you develop real gifts. The sooner we can do that at the younger age, the sooner we get rid of all this baggage, what's going to happen? Then the world can start healing because we healed ourselves. Remember, everything we see outside is just a reflection and projection of what's inside. So if we can learn to get rid of all this stuff and learn to only have that merit, and then when we only have these merits in our life, and we call that virtue and we make that our destiny, that is what we call how we change the world. And when we all learn to gang up and team up so that we can change the world, what's the power in that? So we created this so that we can help you understand how to stop living this lie, how to stop living here, so we all live over there. And you see, a lot of people don't have the guts or the courage to get over here. Why? Because they try to do it alone. This is the lonely world right here. So these are the imitators. Remember, there's 3 ways we act wisely, right? First is imitation. So you see what others have, you copy. Monkey see, monkey do. The second way is the most noblest, which is called meditation, because then you start to develop and learn about yourself. Then the third way, which is the bitterest, is known as experience, because nobody wants to keep doing this, getting better, so that we can all get here together. Remember, become accountable here, then we all become responsible here. That's the power. Now when we become responsible here, that's called community, because now we're showing you how to become accountable here so that we can all join here to create that movement, to create that belief, that seed that we all believe in, right? Once we all have that same belief, it's like people say, just desire it, just think of the frequency of the vibration, but they have no idea what they're talking about. Why? Because see, this seed that we plant, that belief, let's call that rice. Let's say that seed we plant is called rice. Now, when you look in rice fields, do you see apple trees? Do you see orange trees? Do you see cherry trees? Do you see grapevines? Do you see tomato vines? No. Why? Because everybody planted the same seed. All the energy was planted on the same seed so that the focus was to produce the best rice possible, and you call that a harvest. Now, here's the problem. As soon as people get over here and learn a little something, they go right back over here because they feel that now they have something that others don't. So then they start to live over here and talk to the people who don't even understand this. And the secret is never to do that. The secret is to cut this off completely and only allow people to come over here, and that's called thriving. See, when you look in the environment for produce to grow, it has to be in the perfect environment for it all to thrive. But if over here, the seed is, some people are rice, some people are orange, some people are cherry, some people are maybe grapes, all these different things, they're planting all different seeds, this is never concentrated because the beliefs at the very beginning were never the same. Now, what if in school, everybody learned to have that common belief? As soon as they all have that belief, we call those values. That's why we have class, ladies and a gentleman. If we have values in the class from a young age, what will that do for us? Then that makes our thoughts purer, so we don't get in this mess. If the thoughts become pure, what happens? Words become purer. There's less vulgarities. Then what happens when the words get purer? Actions become better, because then we have values. We live over on this side. Everything we do is ethical, legal, and moral, right? We must make sure that we're always above board, making sure that we're always making the best decision possible, right? So then once the beliefs become the thoughts then become the words, then the words become the actions, and then make those actions more repetitive. Everyone does it, they become habits. Those habits with that level of consciousness, that level of that love, that compassion, then that becomes the virtue. And then that virtue becomes all the destiny so that they can all create the same harvest. And that is how we all achieve the state of nirvana, the highest consciousness, so that we can all have that infinite love, that infinite life. So we challenge you, each and every one of you watching this, take this challenge. How many merits do you have in a day to how many demerits you have? Really start there, and then start to dig deeper and start to really know who you are, and stop imitating what you see other people doing and start meditating on you. Start realizing who you really are, right? And if you don't like what you see in the mirror, you know you have some changes to make. So if there's anything else that you feel that you need to know more about this or want us to go more in depth, just message us, just email us, just just get on our webinars, and that's what we're here for. We want to make sure that everyone thrives together in the truth. And when you're ready, we're here. Because we exist to make your life better. Thank you.